What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Horror, this is Ethan Horror, and today we're going to be ranking every Conjuring universe movie. So that's the Conjuring movies, the Annabelle movies, the Curse of La Llorona, and the Nun. So we got 8 to go through. This should be a quick ranking, but let's get right into it.
Here's Johnny.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! This is God.
See, the Conjuring universe is conflicting for me because on one hand you have some genuinely great horror movies that are scary, good, just actually good movies. And on the other half, you have some of the most forgettable movies in all of horror, like some of the most basic forgettable haunted house movies. You have some of the best, such as the original Conjuring, and you have some of the worst, such as The Nun and The Curse of La Llorona, because they're just so forgettable and boring. They're so basic. What's my hair doing? Because they're just boring. But let's just get right into it. My number 8 is Annabelle. Now, I heard a lot of people talking crap about Annabelle, and most of the time when I watch a movie that everybody says is horrible, I watch it, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. But this one I watched, and yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, this is bad. This is one of the few Conjuring movies that isn't low on the list because it's boring. It's low on the list just because it's terrible. It's a really bad movie. It's forgettable, it's boring, and it's bad. It's the 3 worst things you could ever have in a movie. Cause they just take everything from other movies. They take stuff from The Exorcist, from Poltergeist, from The Conjuring, the original one, and then they just all mash it together, but they take they try to take all the best parts, and it doesn't work because it just doesn't make sense. It's not interesting when they put it together. I can't even tell you that much about this movie, and I watched it last night to prepare for this. I can't tell you anything that happens because it's just nothing. It's nothing. I mean, at number 7, not nearly as bad about Annabelle, but I can't tell you nearly as much about this movie because it's The Nun. Again, everyone kept saying how bad it was. I watched it and I was like, no, I get it. Very boring. Very, very boring. Very predictable. I remember a few things about this movie, and one of the things was how predictable the jump scares were. You see a character walking down a dark hallway, music cuts away. I'm pretty sure I could have been 3, 2, 1. There's the jump scare. Because that's how predictable they were. I was like, how did the people who made this movie make The Conjuring? Because The Conjuring has some of the greatest jump scares in horror movie history. But The Nun has some of the most predictable in horror movie history. So I don't know how to how do these line up? But yeah, again, I can't tell you anything about this movie because it's just so boring. I wasn't even doing anything while I was watching the movie. Halfway through, I was just like, wait, what's going on? And then halfway through, I started planning other videos to do because I got so bored. And The Nun was one of the greatest parts of The Conjuring 2. The Nun's terrifying, but they don't do anything with it in this movie. They do nothing. They don't do anything. Coming in at number 6 is The Curse of La Llorona, the most basic baseline horror movie you can ever make. It's a demon possession movie, haunted house movie. It's the literal baseline haunted house movie. They don't do anything new. They don't do anything wrong, but they don't do anything new. It's just basic and boring. And that's all I have to say about it. I'm not going to linger on this one too long. Coming in at number 5 is The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now, I love the first 2 Conjuring movies, obviously. They're in my top 4. But they didn't get the same people to do The Conjuring. And I saw that and I went, oh yeah, that one's gonna suck. What do you know? It did! They get the person who did The Curse of La Llorona to do it. And just like The Curse of La Llorona, boring, baseline, basic. They don't do anything new. This is why the Conjuring universe is so frustrating, because half of it is just nothing, like the most boring baseline horror movies you can ever make. And the top ones are like actual genuine masterpieces. I'd compare it to Sony Animations, where most of their movies are just horrendous, but some of them are great. So, yeah, like, I can remember enough about this movie to say that there were some good parts, but there's nothing, really. I mean, you got Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga still doing great. We got, like, Conduit's back again. It's just, like, they just do everything that all of the other movies have already done, and just kind of put it together and try to make it, like, a big movie, but they kind of fail. Number 4, actually movies that I enjoy now. Top 4, I enjoy these movies, and that is Annabelle Comes Home. Now, obviously, not my favorite, because it's just off. Like, you watch it, and, like, some of the setup for how everything comes into play, it's just like, no, I don't think that would actually happen. But once everything is in play, I like everything that happens. You know, like the side character girl, the friend of the babysitter. She was kind of for me. I mean, we focus on her for a lot of the movie, but I don't really love all the stuff that we do with her. I love that this movie is just basically Pandora's box, because there's literally everything. Like, there's a demon bride, there's Annabelle, there's a werewolf thing for some reason. There's so much stuff in this movie that it makes it so fun, but I can only rank a movie so high for being so fun when the rest of the movie is just kind of okay. Number 3, Annabelle Creation. One of the first Conjuring movies I watched, actually, which is weird. That's really out of order because it's the second Annabelle. I guess it is a prequel to the original Annabelle, but it's fine. It's actually a scary movie. One of the few Conjuring movies that are actually scary. But, like, to be fair, once The Conjuring is scary, it's, like, really scary. So this one isn't, like, super scary, but it's scary enough that it got me to jump a few times. It's got some good jump scares. It's got some good, like, demon stuff, I guess. Annabelle is creepy in this. I like the characters. There's some emotional stuff that isn't just scare in this movie, which is surprising because they haven't really been able... Which is surprising because they haven't really been able to create emotion since the original 2 Conjuring movies. But they actually do it pretty well in this movie, and I like almost everything this movie does. There is some points in the movie where it starts to slow down a little bit, which is why I have it at number 3 and not higher, but I really like this movie. Coming in at number 2, you probably guessed that these two were going to be the top 2 because they're both great, and number 2 is The Conjuring 2. My top 2 are both movies that I absolutely adore. I think they're fantastic horror movies, and just like the original Conjuring, this one is terrifying. It has multiple moments that made me super scared. The Nun is one of the most terrifying demon villains I've ever seen, up there with Toby from Paranormal Activity as like the scariest demon characters. She just looks scary. Like, you look at the Nun, she's just, she's creepy. But, yeah, I like the whole thing where it's like, oh, is it fake, or is it not, or is it real, where, like, she could be faking it. Because that's mainly the stuff in this one that's based on a true story, was, like, a girl actually faked her demon possession. But in the movie, no, she's actually possessed. And, again, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, I think it's Ed and Lorraine Warren, they're great. They're always great. Even in the movies that aren't good, they're amazing. I just have to put it a little bit lower than the original because a lot of the things that it does in this, they do in the original, and they just redo. But I have to give it props because it is a scary movie, and they do a lot of things new. It's just half of it is great new stuff and half of it is rehashed stuff from the original. And coming in at number 1, I'm pretty sure everybody who clicked on this video guessed it, it's the original Conjuring. This is a top 10 horror movie for me. Not a top 10 movie, but definitely a top 10 horror movie. It's terrifying. It has some of the scariest jump scares, just the scariest scares in general, like Bathsheba on top of the closet, terrifying. And of course, the hide and clap scene where the hands come out of the darkness and clap. That is one of the most terrifying scenes I've ever watched in a horror movie, period. But otherwise, I mean, it's one of the first great demon possession movies, and I will always love The Conjuring because it has great characters, great emotions that aren't just scary. Like, as I said in Annabelle Creation, it has good emotions, like making you feel sad and making you feel for the family. Yes, I know my glasses are crooked, it's annoying me too. Like, the whole family, like, dynamics with the mom getting possessed, all of that is great. I think just everything about this movie, they absolutely nail. Just great demon possession movie in a franchise of a lot of mid-demon possession movies. And that's going to be it for today, guys. Remember, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to hit subscribe, or if you don't want to subscribe, at least go check out some other videos on my channel, because I'm sure there's going to be another one in there that you will enjoy. Also, if you did like the video, make sure to like the video, so I know you want to see more videos like it, and if you do enjoy my new set, you'll see it a lot more, because I finally finished, and I'm actually really proud of it. But until then, I'm Ethan Horror. See you in the next video.